Looks like I'm live, and welcome everyone. I'm a minute early, but I'm going to let everybody get in here. And if I have any tech problems, let me know. I've got my webcam in a different location. And this should be fun because we're going to talk about movies coming out in December, what to watch on Criterion Channel that's leaving the Criterion Channel. And I am your guide to the movies, Professor Matthews. This is my office. Welcome to it. And as your guide, I help you out, but you help me out in this live stream. So typically people give me, all of you, recommendations and good ones. And so in the last month, I've watched probably, 4 or 5 of your recommendations and profited from them tremendously. So if you want to see what I say about your recommendations, you should follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Letterboxd with a D. And you can sign up for my newsletter, and then you can read what I write about some of these movies that are recommended in the stream. Because when we do this each month, I take some of them and I think about what to watch, and then I do it and I write a little bit about them. So that's kind of fun. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go through the Criterion Channel, what's leaving that. And if you don't subscribe to it, that's okay, because you'll still get recommendations and ideas, and the chat, people in the chat should interact with us. They'll give you their opinions too, and that's very helpful to you. So you don't have to have Criterion Channel, although among all the streaming services, I recommend it just because if you're into film at all, I think this is the channel to watch, mostly to see all of film history or as much of it as you can, both in terms of time, back to the 19-teens, and then globally, they show movies, or they have movies on there from all over the world. So anyway, welcome to my everybody who's coming in. It's a Wonderful Life. I'm seeing in the chat as top 10. Admit it. Thank you, Jonathan Jansen, former student of mine, and I hope he's not going to sue me because he's now in law school. So yes, It's a Wonderful Life could be a top 10 movie, and I've been thinking about this very question: is what movies appeal to certain kinds of people. And I really think this movie, I like the Big Five personality test. I don't like other personality tests, but the Big Five seems to me, from what tiny little bit I know, to be a legitimate, quasi-legitimate scientific enterprise, maybe. So on the Big Five personality test, you have conscientiousness and non-conscientiousness. I forget the name for that. But It's a Wonderful Life is a movie for extremely highly conscientious people who like to do things for other people, who do things for other people out of a sense of duty and not get much in return or nothing. And at certain moments, these conscientious people, I'd say I'm kind of one of them, have crisis moments. And they ask themselves, why do I do what I do out of the goodwill of my heart for all the people around me who haven't done much of anything for me? And I've sacrificed and suffered and all that. Well, It's a Wonderful Life is about that. About that crisis. And of course, there's a monetary problem in the movie that causes it. But the crisis of, what have I ever gotten out of life? George Bailey wants to go see the world. He wants to be successful. He wants to build skyscrapers. And so, okay, he doesn't do that. He sacrifices himself all over the place through his entire life. Now, as was pointed out to me on the internet, he does get Donna Reed out of this deal, and he gets a bunch of kids with her. So I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, I did it in It's a Wonderful Life video. So you should watch that, where I sort of took it apart a little bit. And I try to do that for an ordinary audience. But yeah, so is it top 10? It's very well made. And so I want to do a analysis video of It's a Wonderful Life at some point, a couple of scenes in it. I've been trying to do that, but my tech has not been doing good for me. Anyway, let's talk about what's coming out in streaming. And this is finally the month where we're sort of all forced to, if we want to see movies that are brand new, coming out in the theaters, we're sort of all forced to, if we don't want to go to theaters, now buy all of the streaming services packages. Netflix, yes, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max now, and Apple TV, and the list goes on. And finally, we're getting Wonder Woman, 1984, if this is your thing, on HBO. Wolfwalkers, which is an interesting movie. I'm reviewing it. It's coming on Apple TV. and Soul, the new Pixar movie coming out on Disney Plus, and then you got all these bevy of obviously Netflix movies coming out there. Well, now you're supposed to, if you want to keep up with movies, subscribe to all of these services. They're sort of becoming, my wallet is suffering, let's put it that way, and yours probably will too. You know, we all got rid of cable TV just for a couple of services or to get more money in our wallets, and then, now we've got to pay all these services. So I'm not sure that's what anybody should do. In fact, I would recommend not doing that and just getting their free trials whenever you can. Can you use multiple email addresses? I'm not going to say that's legitimate, but maybe. And so if I would do this when Wolfwalkers comes out with Apple TV, so you can watch the Werner Herzog documentary Fireball, and then Wolfwalkers, and whatever else, and they give a free 7-day trial. Disney Plus, yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to pay a month subscription to watch The Mandalorian because my kids want to watch it, and I'll probably watch Soul. But I can't, the problem with these services, beyond the fact that they sort of are not developing new talent, in my opinion, that's a big problem. I don't see them creating new things that are exciting, new young actors, new directors, new visions. I don't see that at all. I see them, going off the old systems or known directors. So that's what Netflix does. It just hires people, Scorsese, Fincher, and so on, and they just hire established talent. So beyond that, the other thing they're doing is getting you to subscribe for a month, and then a number of you, some percentage, are going to you're going to forget that you're still subscribed. So it's a way they make a lot of money, and you end up paying more to watch a new movie like Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO than you would if you went to the theater, assuming you forget to unsubscribe. And by the way, these services, and I'm going to say this is a terrible thing that somebody's got to fix. Whether it's a competitor, I hate to say lawmakers should fix it, but they make it difficult to unsubscribe. I mean, it takes me how long to unsubscribe from a service? Whether that's recently, it's been that way for me for software services. So I tried to unsubscribe from Adobe something or other, and it was just a nightmare. But they hide the unsubscribe buttons. They make it difficult. They make you contact them, and so I find that to be totally absurd. Anyway, so beware of subscribing just to watch Soul or Wonder Woman or whatever. But that's what we're going to have to do if you don't want to go to the theater and risk your life during coronavirus. And by the way, Hollywood should have been doing this a long time ago, video on demand. But I was also surprised that James Bond didn't come out and Apple TV didn't pay $700 million to bring it on there, but whatever. Okay, so we got a few people in here, and so I'm going to talk about Criterion Channel first, and just to bring some stuff up to you that maybe you're not aware of on the channel. They have a lot of stuff that I find to be particular to certain people. So I can't give these recommendations to just everybody. These are not blanket, everybody in the world should watch these things. So you're going to have to figure out if these are for you or not. But the first one I see on here is a movie I hadn't seen until recently, and I don't know why I hadn't seen it, but The Elephant Man by David Lynch, which I very strongly recommend. I so strongly recommend this movie to most people that I think I'm going to show it next semester in film class, and the one I teach at the university I'm at. It's interesting because it's in black and white. Standard story about a misfit, a person who doesn't fit into society, which is sort of the standard Tim Burton, story, but done with the Lynchian trappings and really interesting dream sequences. You must see this thing in HD, and so get this movie somehow. Criterion Channel going off at the end of the month, but if you haven't seen The Elephant Man, do see it. It's quite good. Okay, I had a whole list here. Oh, and the other one, this is one I don't recommend to many people. But as far as science fiction goes, it's something that you sort of have to deal with is your relationship to the media that you consume. You and the internet, you and your phone, you and video. And the movie Videodrome by David Cronenberg is now a classic. It's a standard in all kinds of science fiction criticism. Really weird. And so that might put some people off. Pretty gritty in places, and yet this is peak Cronenberg. So if I were to recommend this to people, I would recommend to curious, interested people who knew a little bit about media studies, even philosophy of film. Well, it really is a movie about that. And probably in places it's dated, in other places it's for you today. I mean, it's about phones in a way, smartphones. So there's that too. Yeah, James Woods. He's a funny Twitter follow. I think I unfollowed him because I was annoyed at the rooting for one group of people. But yeah, he's kind of a funny, clever guy. As well, I'm looking at my list here. Those are the two I'd recommend. Now for family fare, they have The Yearling with Gregory Peck. So I'm gonna watch that with my kids again. Boy and His Deer Story, classic book made into a movie, touching. It's set in 20th century Florida, early 20th century, I think, maybe before that. So there's that. If you like Jacques Tati, as I do. In fact, I brought him in, so hopefully you can see this. I'm going to go through Tati in the next week and do a few videos on him. He's pretty easy to go through because he only made 6 movies. And I already have a video on his first movie, Jour de Fête. So go check that out. But The Illusionist. If you like Jacques Tati, you should watch The Illusionist to just see how people have interpreted him, loved him. Who's this by? Sylvain Chomet. This is the 2010 movie. It's animated, but I don't know. Is it really for kids? I don't think so. I'm not sure. So anyway, The Illusionist is pretty good. Now I'm looking on the rest of this. I've seen the second Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. It's okay. Worth maybe checking out if you like that sort of thing, but I like the first Invasion better. The movie Don't Look Now, people love this movie. And it's about 2 people in Venice and a murder mystery, and I found it to be pretty hokey in places, and there's a humongous sex scene that's realistic, so beware of this movie. This director, Nicholas Roeg, I don't always know how to pronounce it, but the movie I really liked from him is The Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie. But some of you may like Don't Look Now, especially if you're like me and you've been in Venice before and then you want to see it in a different sort of way. It's gritty and dark in Venice in this movie. And there are so many movies on this channel leaving, and so many noir movies. The Big Combo, which is a cinematographer, John Alton. That's worth checking out. There's a couple of screwball comedies, The Awful Truth by Leo McCrary. And there was another one, Trouble in Paradise, which is worth seeing if you like good directors. Ernst Lubitsch is really good. There's a couple of Lubitsch movies leaving the channel this month. So those are the ones I'd recommend, but if you take a look at this, there's so many options. There's no time to watch all of these. And so you're going to have to pick and choose amongst what you want to watch. Noirs, screwballs, science fiction movies, they got it. A couple other movies I don't like on here, but my kids love The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, 1958. I just find it to be hokey and terrible plot. But the wonders of I think it's Ray Harryhausen in Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, and some really great action sequences. So that's worth checking out with a family if you want to. And then there's a Guillermo del Toro movie, an early one, The Devil's Backbone. Also, Bong Joon-ho, Mother, is on here. So I don't know how you can go wrong. I don't get sponsored or paid by the Criterion Channel, at least not yet. Maybe they will one day, and I can earn some extra spending money, but really, this is a great channel to watch. And if you go on Netflix and look at what they say is a classic movie, I mean, their classic movies are, I don't know, Back to the Future. That's actually a legit classic movie compared to the stuff they say is classic. Usually it's like 2000s comedies. So they don't have a classic selection. And Amazon Prime buries their classics. You can't find them. They should be suggesting them left and right to me, given what their algorithms know about my preferences, and yet they don't. So Criterion is where I find this. Great movies. TCM as well. I'm happy to take your comments. So go ahead and put comments on there, and we'll chat in a minute. I recently picked this up. So this is Preston Sturges, one of my favorite screenwriters ever. Not only my favorite, but the Coen brothers. I wonder if Tarantino watches him. I'm not sure that Tarantino would, but for sure, anybody who likes snappy, witty dialogue combined with really heavy, interesting ideas and themes. So it's playful screwball combined with, social realism and various problems, real world problems that are ultra serious, like World War II, death and destruction, World War II. I love Sturges, and I'm going through his movies one by one, and there's a couple in this collection I've not seen. So this is a DVD collection I got out on Amazon, just DVDs, so lower quality, but it's got all of his movies from 1940 when he began doing the directing and writing thing. He's one of the first writers who directed his own scripts for Hollywood, the Hollywood system. And his first one is in 1940, and then he just has a string of really good movies from 1940 to 1944, like 5 or 6 movies. So if you're interested in having fun, but also thinking a little bit, and you like old Hollywood somewhat, this is great. And so I'm going to do several videos on him and probably an overall director video on him, as well as a couple of videos on these movies. The most famous movie of all probably from him is Sullivan's Travels. And yet when I go through this collection, there's just a series of really interesting movies about World War II and World War II era United States. So I recommend this if you got $30. It may be still on Amazon for $30. Keep your questions here. I'll answer them coming in just a minute. I was going to show you a few of the videos the movies I was going to try to look at for, I have a Christmas break, so I can study a little bit. And people keep requesting Antonioni from me. So I respect him. I don't like him or love him. I should probably say I don't love him. But this movie, The Passenger with Jack Nicholson, fascinates me. I need to sit down and watch it very carefully. So that's what I intend to do over Christmas break. Look for a video on this next year. I got Blow Up. I might try this again. I didn't love this, but I'll try this again. And so now I'm going to throw some fare at you probably know. But I should do some videos on because I will get hits and people will come to the channel. So I have to do those sorts of things as well as do what I want. And this combines both. Chinatown. I'm getting a lot of film students coming onto the channel and looking for information about film noir. And I don't know what the class is or what the university is that's teaching a film noir class. So whoever that is, God bless you. But I'll do this one for you students who want to know more about film noir. I'm definitely going to rewatch this for fun because I love this movie. One of my favorite Scorsese's, maybe even my favorite, because I love deception and I love fraud in movies. I like to think about it. So The Departed. We'll deal with this one at some point. I really enjoy rewatching that. Babette's Feast. This is necessary for me to do, I feel like, so we'll do it. And then a couple of, Kubrick is all over YouTube. There's so many Kubrick videos. People still love him. So Paths of Glory I'll have to do for sure. And Dr. Strangelove, right? People requested this. I will do it. Sounds great. I've already on my channel done Barry Lyndon. But those older Kubricks I will do. What else in my stack of stuff? Russian movie. This is an amazing movie. I would guess that most people watching this have not seen this. Letter Never Sent. You, my friends, will love this movie. If you like really great direction, it's sort of a parable made in the Soviet Union, and I think it may be sort of pro-communist. I'm not sure, though. It's not really. But you will love this movie. I guarantee most of you will enjoy it. It's only an hour and a half. I've never seen Rosemary's Baby. I plan to watch Polanski. In fact, there's a Polanski movie going off of Criterion Channel. Terrible human being, as far as I know, Polanski, but makes great movies. So I've never seen this. And then last, I'm going to rewatch this. In fact, with my buddy, who's a history prof who loves, he's a history professor who loves Malick. I tried this. I didn't make it halfway through. It was just, I didn't even understand what was going on. But I'll try to sit down and rewatch this. Knight of Cups. How can you go wrong with Christian Bale and I don't know who else is in that. All right. So those are my recommendations. There's so many movies in the history of the world to watch right now. We're in an era where every movie as ever made is available in some way, shape, or form. And we're all now reevaluating movie history because we all have wild access, amazing access to all of these movies, including everybody around the world. So take advantage of it because, you know, who knows if it will go away? I don't know. Probably not. But and by the way, I have these. I love physical media, and I not only own physical media, I digitize it because I want to preserve it in multiple forms. So I still have discs, even though you can buy movies on streaming services. I'm looking at on the chat and looking at these questions. So any question you want, let's go for it. Let's have fun. Am I reviewing Mank? Yes, I am. Mank is a David Fincher film about the writing of Citizen Kane, and this is a combo I don't have any vision for as how David Fincher, why he would care about this. So that interests me because I like Citizen Kane a lot. I've studied it, showed it in class, and sort of dissected it, and I've got a couple of videos on it. And then David Fincher doing Citizen Kane will be interesting, but I haven't received a screener for it. I don't know why. I asked for one. They said they'd give me one. Netflix did, but I haven't gotten one. So probably on Friday, December 4th, when that comes out, I'll watch it, make a video, and you can expect a review. Probably late December 4th from me about Mank. And we'll see. Lately, I've been going against the critics. Every single movie, I like what they don't like. So, Mank, yes. I haven't seen The Boys on Amazon Prime. What is that? Has that just come out? I don't know what that is. So tell me if you know what The Boys is, because Amazon Prime is not something I've kept up with. Basically because they fired their guy who was Me Too'd and head of the Amazon Studios, and for the first couple years, Amazon Studios was amazing. They put out so many excellent films in their first couple years, and lately it's just been stuff that no one has. Maybe they're wrong, but no one has lauded as tremendous. Now, The Boys is a TV show, okay, so yeah, maybe it might be great. I don't know. But I just haven't paid much attention to Amazon. It's hard to pay attention to all these streaming services. Yeah, I've never seen Sturges' Great McGinty, so that's one I'm going to watch. Have I seen the Joshua Oppenheimer documentary, The Act of Killing? I don't know what that is. Why don't I know what that is? Well, what's it about? So let's look this up. Why would you recommend this movie? Just curious. I don't know anything about it. Indonesian mass killings of 1965 to 1966. Okay, I would be in on this. Sure. It is 3 hours long. Is it worth that much of my life? It's always my number one question. Why would I watch a 3-hour movie? But yeah, I'm happy to try this one. It's great. So we'll check that out. Yeah, that's great. I need to watch that documentary. Oh, multiple people are saying this, The Act of Killing. So, yeah, I'm very interested in movies from the 21st century that I've missed and want to put in. I'm trying eventually, I'll do this, is create a book of essays on great 21st century movies. I've already got 5 or 6 of these written, and I really want to find the ones that I think are worthy of saying, this is a great movie, and people have missed it, and let's say why it's great. So, yeah. Mank was written by Fincher's father. I wondered who that was. It was some other Fincher, and is he still alive to have written it, or did he write it a long time ago? That would be a very interesting thing then, how to direct your father's script. Yeah. All right, what else here? A great documentary that explores the nature of evil, The Act of Killing. Although, sort of what 21st century movie doesn't talk about the nature of evil? Okay, yeah. And how about government evil? Is that what it is? Is the government in Indonesia, did they kill those people? Is that what this is about? Because I'm all in on that sort of thing. Because I think that is a serious problem that has gone undiagnosed. Is regicide. The government killing of citizens or peoples within its boundaries is by far and away the number one way that people die, other than, natural causes. Certainly in the 20th century, maybe the 21st. So there's a great book on that, and I forget what it is, but in fact, I'm going to look it up. But we need to acknowledge that governments kill people all over the world. So regicide, I would go be in on active killing if it's about that for sure. Or maybe it's just general genocide. So yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. The century's greatest documentary. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's wonderful. Jack Fincher wrote it a very long time ago, and David wanted to make it but couldn't get it made. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, what studio would have put Mank out? I mean, who wants to watch a movie? And I have not seen Netflix advertise this. In fact, when I signed into Netflix recently, I saw Queen's Gambit advertised long before it came out. They have not advertised it to me. I'm imagining they haven't advertised to anybody. So who wants to watch a movie about a screenplay writer or a screenwriter? Who would fund that? Yeah. They love Fincher, I suppose, because of House of Cards letting him do what he wants. Any more questions? I'm still looking for, maybe I've missed one. Any more questions? I usually get the question, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite series of movies? Go to letterboxd.com. I'm getting more and more people going over there. And, it's great because then I can interact with people and see what movies they're watching. So I like Letterboxd for that reason. I'm not going to say much about Queen's Gambit because I'm going to offend everybody, but I hated it. So there, I offended everybody. I like the book, so I'm comparing it to the book. I find that Netflix is creating movies and TV shows that are about the sets. And they make these ornate, opulent, brightly colored at times sets. And then they're also about glamorizing the stars. So these things in Netflix, a lot of them have a certain look to them. And it's more, these things are more about the style, which isn't really much of a style to me, than the plot, which I found to be pretty pedestrian for Queen's Gambit. But I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad people are getting into chess because of Queen's Gambit. It's a weird way to get into chess, but that's great. Yeah. There's some people here I haven't seen before, so welcome to you all. I'm assuming you're all from different parts of the world. And what's amazing about my channel is I'm getting people from Bahrain and Iran and Brazil. So I love that. It's great. I don't know people from those countries, so it's great to interact with them. Yeah, what else? So besides the things I've mentioned, I've already created a bunch of videos for January. So I can tell you even what you're going to see from me. And I hope you care, because I always try to make videos that, you can't find the information that I give elsewhere on the internet. At least that's my idea. That I don't study what other people have said on the internet and then make the videos. I just say whatever I want or whatever I think is right about the movie from my own ideas. And so if I'm repeating what's already on the internet, it's just coincidence. But I hope you're getting something unique from me, and that's what I'm trying to do. But coming up on the channel, I've got an enormous list of family movies that I made, like a 25-minute video listing as many family-friendly movies as I could. And I've got a couple greatest science fiction movie videos that are coming out. So I'm trying to do a little bit more of that stuff, although the algorithms do not pick that up as much. And so if you guys want to click on it and watch it or just let it run, that'd be helpful to support me. Usually the people come to my channel through the What Makes This Movie Great series, because they're searching for a specific movie that they just watched. Then they watch my review or analysis, and then they subscribe. And so that's been the way I've picked up subscribers primarily, is through the individual movie videos. But I like to do different kinds of videos. Eventually I'd like to interview directors and writers and that sort of thing. And eventually I'd like to do more sort of, themed based videos, or videos about a period of time or something like that. So On the Waterfront, I did that. Robert Bresson's A Man Escaped, love that. I did The Guns of Navarone, and I did The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and I did The 400 Blows. There you go. So those are all coming out in January. What else? Movies for people who love The Departed other than the original, of which it was a remake. Oh, wait, by the way, welcome from Saudi Arabia and welcome from Portugal. Yeah, that's awesome. Welcome. Google is everywhere. It's watching us all. So, YouTube. The Departed movies about... Well, you know, you can't go wrong with Hitchcock, but you probably knew that. I mean, I feel like Notorious... The Departed owes a lot to Notorious in weird ways. For some reason, this movie, and I haven't watched it since 2005 or whatever it is, the movie Face Off, it sort of has the same kind of weird premise of guys switching places. Probably not a great movie, but it was when I was a college student. So Face Off, it has Nicolas Cage in it. You might like that. I don't know if you've seen it, if you're asking about that. Yeah, I'd have to sit down and think about what is like The Departed. I find the one flaw in The Departed, and this is a strange comment from me because I think he's great, is that Jack Nicholson ruins that movie. He's not really believable to me as a Boston mobster, or whatever he's supposed to be. He's not really a mobster, so yeah. You love Face Off, cheesiness and everything. Yeah, cheesy movies are great. John Wood. What is Mandy? Someone's asking me to, or John is asking me to review Mandy. What are the Nicolas Cage movies I don't know? I'm feeling that that's a Nicolas Cage movie, but I'm all in on Cage, and I'm happy to look at a Cage movie that is crappy or cheesy, because obviously he can carry a movie. I'm reading the description of Mandy. Well, I definitely couldn't watch this with my wife and children. Yeah, I'll have to check this one out. Mandy, okay. I was envisioning a romantic comedy when I saw Mandy, the name Mandy, but that's not what it is. That's great. Yeah. So this has been a lot of fun. I haven't seen any more questions down here, but thanks for paying attention. Whoever comes by later on, check me out on Twitter, Letterboxd, sign up for my newsletter, whatever. You can get my thoughts, my rants, my ridiculous comments, but I think everybody needs a guide or several guides of the movies. And today, one of my opinions is that most movie critics, I guess I'm anti-corporate media at this point, but I have been most of my life. But most of these movie critics just are not that great at what they do, or they're just not for me. And so if you can find the critic or critics that you like or appreciate, that's me great, that's somebody else, but to have a guide is always helpful. And so I lost mine with Roger Ebert several years ago when he died. And now I'm sort of my own guide. Although there are a couple of critics I still kind of like. So anyway, thanks for watching. I love doing this. It's fun. And I hope you have a great movie month and enjoy your time at the movies, because they give you the vision and the insight you need to see reality better if you're watching them correctly. It's one of my major points with all my videos. Movies are about real life. They interact with real life, and they should help you see your life better. They should give you genuine insight. So yeah, Mandy is the insane Nick Cage film. Well, I'm all in on that, because there couldn't be a better movie than that, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. See you around. See you at the channel. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you from Saudi Arabia. I need to visit there one day, as long as you're nice to me. I would be genuinely interested in visiting, so that'd be great. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that about La Notte, the Visconti movie I just did, because, you know, sometimes I do these videos and only 100 people watch and think, well, why did I do that? I do it out of love. I do it for legacy, actually, to record what I thought at one point, and so people can watch it later. But I really appreciate those of you who, you know, watch these things and are interested and get something out of them. So I thank you. Thank you, everybody. See you later. Have a great day.